YouTube, what's going on? You know, the last few days this week and this time, well, within the last week, there's been a lot of talk about Kanye West and Donald Trump and the two of them and their meeting at the Oval Office, the White House. You know, I could understand both, both sides of the spectrum. When people in the black community are very upset with Kanye, very upset with how Kanye conducted himself. He is being highly judged and criticized, by certain folks from the standpoint of how he did not really represent black people well. Then you have another side to it who feel different. But in truth, I'm just adding my piece to this whole thing, right? Kanye mentioned something that was real, and he didn't have to, but he said that he was diagnosed with being bipolar. Okay? That diagnosis is given by a clinician. Okay? Not everyone can diagnose a person with a mental illness. So if he was evaluated by a doctor, by clinicians, these people are professional at what they do, and was given that type of diagnosis and offered methods of treatment, okay, to deal with the diagnosis, to cope, to manage, to treat, whatever have you, that tells you right there you're dealing with a man who's struggling with mental instability. Why people are taking his rants to heart after understanding that he's dealing with a mental illness, you have to kind of take a step back and not get so emotional, not get so emotionally charged. This is just my opinion. A lot of black people are pissed off with him, And again, you have, it rightfully so. I just look at the mental illness piece to indicate that there's a challenge right there, a challenge that's impeding his well-being on a daily basis that he has to struggle with. Mental instability can be debilitating. Mental illness is real. And when a person is struggling with mental illness, and that's disclosed, you can't take everything the person is saying at face value, especially when they're dealing with mental illness. Yes, he's a creative, he's incredibly talented. I'm not taking anything away from that man at all. Incredibly talented and creative. Hands down, absolutely. That's understood. But he also grapples with being bipolar. This is what he said. When you understand that, you could kind of say, okay, well, His standpoint is his standpoint, and yours is yours, but don't take it to heart. If you have, there are individuals who suffer from auditory and visual hallucinations. Okay? There are people who suffer from schizophrenia. There are people who suffer from manic depression. There are people who suffer from anxiety, personality disorders, borderline personality disorders, antisocial, who are oppositionally defiant, all types of different issues. Okay? And at times, certain things can be said where it's not the person that's talking, it's the illness. There's certain times where you're actually speaking to the illness that's manifesting through the person. So my goodness, there's so many other things people could focus on, but hey, again, I'm not here to judge. All I'm here to do is just say, listen, I'm not gonna beat up on someone who has mental illness. I don't think that's quite fair. He may not be in his right mind, man. Like, you have to understand that. A person who's not in their right mind, who's speaking some nonsense, and in some cases, he's lucid, but, you could tell that his thoughts are not well connected and maybe disorganized, and he's preoccupied with a bunch of different ideations and ideology that just should show you that there's something off. Everything is not about getting riled up. Approach things with a calm, level disposition, and take it from there. Leave a comment, let me know what you think. Like, share, subscribe, and be well.